you go.
Okay.
YouTube, thanks for joining. We're going to be working on hips first, as I told our Instagram group. I had 4 votes for hips, 3 for core. In the future, when you see my classes posted, please tell me what you want to work on. Okay? So get any props you think you might need for support. And then lie down or sit, whatever you find comfortable. If you are somebody who, when you drop into class, you prefer to sit, find something on which to sit. I'm using half a foam roller, so it's nice and solid on one side and allows my pelvis to tip forward. Okay? And if you are my sitters, find a nice way to sit. Tailbone, sit bones on the edge of the foam roller or whatever you're sitting on, or lying flat on the floor. It really is, it's yogi's choice. Nice. And then allow yourself to get settled in. So find a comfy place to lie down. Wiggle yourself out in that seated posture, okay? And then take a few deep breaths. We're going to inhale deeply through the nose and exhale out the mouth. Inhale and exhale. 2 more. Inhale. And then just let the breath flow in and out through the nose. And allowing your breath to deepen if you wanted to, or leaving it just where it is. Placing the tongue behind the back of the front teeth, allowing the jaw to soften. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose. And then from here, start to lengthen the breath. Inhaling for anywhere between 4 and 5 counts. And then you're going to pause for a count. Exhale for that same amount, and then pause again. So I'm going to do it with you for the first time. So everybody exhale. And then inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Pause. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Pause. One more time on your together. Inhale. Pause. Exhale. Pause. And let it roll on your own. About another minute. So about 5 more breaths. Maybe 6. 2 more breaths. One more. Nice. So after your last exhale, if you're my sitters, we're going to lie down on our backs. If you're my liars, down on the back. Bend your knees, place your feet on the floor. So starting with the hips, we're going to start rather gently. You're going to take the left knee and pull it in towards your chest and flex the foot. And then straighten the right leg so that thigh bumps up against the ground, inner thigh reaching. And just pull right here, keeping that lower back on the floor. So it's really easy to kind of want to scrunch up, but I want you to think about, you have pant pockets at the back side right here, and I want you to think about keeping the back upper pant pocket on the ground. Both feet are flexed, and you're just gently pulling in. A couple breaths. One more breath. And then keeping that right leg straight, feel free to grab the outside of the left leg, either with your right hand or your left hand. If you grab with your right hand, it's going to be on the inside of the foot, but for some people, this is a really challenging pose. So if you can just grab the foot and think about drawing the knee towards the armpit, that would be great. What you're also going to focus on as you draw this knee gently down, so we're not really deep, so just gently down, feel that right back pocket press against the ground. So you're not letting yourself tip, we're nice and solid. Soft, gentle move. If you've got your harness, put the harness around your foot to give you a little length in the arm. Few more breaths. Reach that right leg long. Feel the core, but hold your, relax the shoulders. One more good breath. Keeping that right leg straight, feel free to grab the outside of the left. Good. And then from here, that was kind of weird. Take that left ankle, okay? First, bend the right knee, take the left ankle onto the right thigh. And you're going to roll yourself up. And as I roll myself up, I'm just going to take this left hand, just kind of push the thigh gently away. So I'm not on my knee, I'm closer to my hip crease. And I'm just kind of creating a little space. Please do this gently. And just a couple breaths. And then interlace the hands and place them behind the right thigh and lie yourself down. Lower back solid on the ground. Both feet flexed. And remember, we're just starting to warm up. And again, you can put that harness around your thigh or a belt or a blanket. A tie is great. And just let that outer glute start to open just a little bit. Keep that upper jean pocket or pant pocket on the ground. So not rolling up, but almost keeping the sacrum flat. In and out through the nose. One more good breath, please. On this exhale, you're going to take the right foot back down and then let the left thigh cross over the right. And I'm going to walk my right foot wide so that my ankle lines up a little better with my hip. And I'm just going to slowly roll gently to my knees to the left. My arms are going to stretch out like a T, and if I want to, I'm going to turn my head to the right. Now, if you're somebody who's having hip or back problems, please release that left leg and just come into a twist. Still thinking about lengthening the hip away from the ribs. So I'm gently thinking about drawing my right hip down. You can literally take your hands and draw it down. And we're going to have 3 more breaths here. One more breath, please. On your inhale, come back to center. Find the back solid on the ground again. Okay, so the back of those pant pocket pressing against the ground. My right knee comes to my chest, and then I'm going to lengthen the left leg, left thigh reaching towards the floor, toes reaching towards me. And I noticed just in doing this that I started to lilt over to my right, so I need to adjust so I'm even through my backside. Okay? I know for me this pinches my right hip crease, so I can take my knee a little wider, and for me it walks away from that pinch a bit. Breathe, breathe, in and out through the nose. I put my left hand here because I want to make sure that left hip stays down, a little feedback. One more good breath, and then we're going to grab onto the outside of that foot. So I'm just going to kind of unbend this foot, and for me, I'm going to grab the outside of my left foot with my left hand, and I'm really going to think about keeping this left hip flat. And the tops of my feet are reaching for the ceiling. Whether or not I can come down doesn't matter. So I don't want to see this hanging out. We may do that later because it's a nice feel on that hip flexion, but right now, boom. Left thigh against the ground. Right knee's coming towards the floor as I just traction down a little bit. And I'm keeping my hips level. Think about flexing both feet, please. One more breath, please. Take an inhale, and on your exhale, bend that left knee. You're going to take that right ankle onto the left thigh and roll yourself up again. And your hand's going to come down right near the hip crease. So the meat of my palm is near the hip crease, and I'm gently tractioning this thigh away. Just a little bit, getting a little bit of space. And taking both hands, interlace behind your thigh or use that harness. And come back. Once again, not lifting up so the sacrum isn't on the back. I want that lower, deep, deep right near the cheeks on the floor, excuse me. Gentle stretch. So we're just warming up. Don't get too gnarly into it yet. Check it out. How's the body feeling today? What is your hip and glute up to? Two more breaths, please. One more breath. Exhale, release the hands, foot down, cross that right thigh over the left, walk the left foot a little wider, and twist over to the side. Arms can be out if you want them to, and again, think about drawing the hip away from the rib. And if this pinches, you unlace the leg. You can move the feet farther away or closer to you, knees closer to your chest, really finding the space that feels right without discomfort or dis-ease. One more good breath, please. Nice. And then from here, take the ankle off the foot, right? And then roll yourself completely over to whatever side feels good. We're going to come into a tabletop. And in this tabletop, your wrists and shoulders line up. And I'm checking my knees are underneath my hips as best as I can tell, and my knees are shoulder width apart. I'm going to press into my hands as my fingertips spread, keeping the shoulder blades wide. And I'm going to think about cat-cow just through up to my ribs, okay? So I'm not inviting my chest or my shoulders to come with us, nor am I going to bend my elbows. So it's not going to be a big move, but it's going to be satisfying. So on an inhale, I'm not moving my head, right? So I'm going to lift my tailbone as best I can and drop until I feel this upper back start to play. And then slowly tucking my tailbone one vertebra at a time, I'm going to try to round that lower back. And then I'm going to inhale, lift. So if you notice, I'm going really slow because if I don't, I'm going to start to pop my ribs and I don't want to. And then as I exhale, once again slow, keeping the ribs tucked, really nice slow tuck. Tuck that tailbone as best you can. Really feel the pubic bone lift up and wrap around the belly button. Inhale, we're going to do one more really nice cow tilt. Exhale. Come into that cat. Really think about almost like you have a wheel that you're cranking to get through here without getting too deep up towards the ribs. Inhale, come to center. Walk your hands half a hand length in front of you. Tuck your toes under. We're going to come to our first down dog. In this down dog, this is the first time we're really feeling our total posterior chain or our back body. So take a minute, pat it out, walk it out, and see what the whole body feels like. What I like to do is I'll walk it out and pat my feet a little bit. I'll make sure my fingers are spread, and I wrap the biceps past my ears. Take the hip creases back. Pull ribs in and pause. Just feel that length as you press into the arms, lengthen through the back. Hip creases reach back, and then feel the weight drop down in the heels. Whether or not the heels ever get down doesn't matter. Inhale, lengthen through the spine again, pressing through the hands, reaching the hip creases back. Exhale, drop. Inhale, prepare that right leg, and as you exhale, gently step into a low lunge, patting the knee for the left knee. Feel free to fold over your blanket and put the left knee on the ground, okay? And walk this right foot a little farther forward. I like to use my fists, and I'm going to be on either side of my leg, or I can have my hands on my leg, and I'm just going to let myself drop forward. Okay, as my hands are on either side of my leg, I'm lifting my belly up off my thigh. Toenails of the back foot into the ground. And then finally press into the front heel. Start to feel the warmth in that left front leg. Two more breaths, maybe three, haven't decided. Start to feel that body open ever so softly. One more good breath, please. On an inhale, tuck the back toes under and palm the floor. Lift the back thigh and exhale back to your down dog. Next, inhale, left leg prepares, and as you exhale, this left leg's going to step in a little lunge. Right knee comes to the floor. Remember, you can pad that knee. Do not hurt, not an option. Right toenails into the ground. Hand can be up on the thigh. Okay, lifting up, pulling the belly back from the thigh. Or fingertips on either side of the leg. Toenails in the ground. And then breathing in and out through the nose. Pressing into that left heel. Back toenails. Two more breaths. Let the body start to open. One more good breath, please. On an inhale, you're going to tuck the right toe under palm of the floor, step to plank. On an exhale, you can either come to down dog or pause. And those who are going to flow, inhaling, shift forward. Exhale, come on down. Toenails in the ground, up dog or your cobra. Exhale, down dog. Pause and breathe. Press into the hands. Inhaling, feel the length all the way through the spine. And then as you exhale, drop the heels. One more good inhale. Exhale. Inhale, right leg prepares, and as you exhale, right leg comes into a low lunge, and we're going to put that left knee back down, padding if we need to. And this time, you're going to walk the right foot wide. And now my foot is slightly turned out, and my heel is wider than my hip. Toenails of the left foot are in the ground, and I like to use my fist for this. For those of you who are really open, you can probably come under your elbows. But here's the caveat. If you're on your elbows, I've rounded a lot through my spine, and I'd like you to think of a length through the spine. Okay, so yummy length through the spine, like you're being pulled by the top of the head, press into that right heel. Hang with sensation. We're going to stay here for about 4 more breaths because I really want to take the time to open this up slowly. Not pushing, just hanging out. A few more breaths. So I think we've got 2. One more breath, please. Nice. On the inhale, tuck the toe, walk this foot forward. Exhale into your down dog. Ooh, press the hands. Next, inhale, opposite leg prepares. Exhale, step into that low lunge. Knee on the ground again, tops of the toenails, and walk that leg wide. Once again, my heel is wider than my hip. Toenails press into the floor, and I'm just going to let myself slide forward. For those who want to, they can come into that forearm. Caveat being, of course, spine long. Toenails in the ground of the back foot, press into the heel of the front. Breathe and feel. Pull the belly in. Three more breaths. One more good breath. Beautiful. On that inhale, this left foot walks in, right thigh to the sky. Exhale your plank. Next, exhale, down dog, or ready, inhale, shift forward. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Easy cheesy. Give them a couple breaths. Press through the palms. Feel the arms lengthen through the spine. And then exhale, heels drop. One more time, inhale, length. Exhale, drop. Inhale, your right leg is going to prepare, and as you exhale, right leg steps in that low lunge, and then from here, we're just going to come up to a high lunge. But this time, we're not going to let that pelvis tip forward, so we're going to bend the back knee and pull the hip as best we can back over the knee. Okay, so I've got a really nice bend going. And I'm going to lift up through my pubic bone and reach my arms up. Don't pop those ribs. Couple breaths, hanging out. Excuse me. Pull the ribs in. Shoulders, blades on the back. Lift. Press into the front heel. Lift up through the pubic bone. Pull the belly button back. One more good breath. On your next exhale, hands are going to come down on either side of the foot. Inhale, step to plank, and on your exhale, you're going to hit your down dog. Press through the hands and lengthen. Exhale through the heels. Inhale, left leg prepares, and as you exhale, left leg low lunge, and then come up to the very variation you want of a high lunge. Woohoo! If you want to, for balance, take this back leg wider. It's like a mini or a smart car versus a Humvee. Wider chassis, more stable. Draw the belly button back, line up the knee and the hip, and reach the arms overhead. Belly button pulls in again as you lift. Anybody who's nice and tight through here, please know that you don't have to lift the arms. This shouldn't be a really nasty pull. It should be kind of a slow taffy stretch. If you stretch too fast, you'll rip the taffy. Don't rip your taffy. Couple more. Pull the belly button in, press into that front heel. Belly button in, breathe. One more good breath, please. Then we're going to inhale. Exhale, hands down. Inhale to your plank. On your exhale, either pause here or down dog. Inhale, start your flow if you're choosing to do so. Nice. One more good breath here. Then on your inhale, bend the right leg, and as you exhale, your right leg is going to step in a low lunge. Okay, and you're going to root that left leg, come into your Virabhadrasana 2. So we're finally starting to tap in and move into a different plane. From here, okay, and we're just going to pause right here for a few breaths. Checking that our front heel, back arch, right? Knee, ankle. And that back heel's kicked out a bit. Pull in the belly, feel the spine lengthen, and pause. Press into the front heel. One more breath, and we're going to add a little dynamic movement to this. On your inhale, come into a reverse triangle. So we're going to straighten the right leg, reach up, look down if you want to. Then on your inhale, come back to your warrior 2 or Virabhadrasana 2. Exhale, reverse, legs straight. Pressing into that front heel. Inhale, Virabhadrasana 2. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. One exhale here. And then pause. Here, I want you to very gently think about lifting the hip down, ribs up. So you're creating space. And then fire up the glutes a little bit. If this hurts, don't do it so much. So for me, I'm not going to do it really at all. So about 3 or 4 more breaths. Letting that left arm come down. Remember, your right arm can come up and you can bend and arch it over. Thinking about getting space between the rib and the hip. Press into the front knee. Heel. One more breath. Don't press your knee. Inhale, Virabhadrasana 2. Exhale, hands come down on either side of your foot. You're down dog. Lengthen, lengthen, stretch, stretch. On your next inhale, prepare your left leg. And as you exhale, your left leg is going to come into a low lunge. And then inhale up to warrior 2 feet. So first make the structure, right? You've got to start at the feet or the base to have a good structure. So heel arch, and then I come up knee, ankle, and I'm squaring my shoulders. If I turn my left hip and try to square it, my left knee comes forward beyond my ankle, and I'm putting a lot of torque on my knee. So for me, I turn my right hip a little to the left, which lines up my knee and my ankle. And then I square my shoulders. So my hips dictate where my knee goes. If my knee is jutting out forward, I turn my right hip to the left and then square my shoulders. So it's a little bit of a twist for me, and it may be for you. Press into the outside of the foot. Breathe. So we're just creating this structure again. Outside back foot, front heel. Breathing in and out through the nose. Pull the belly in. Okay, we're going to start that dynamic. So on that exhale, we reverse. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, straighten that leg, reverse. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale. Inhale. Couple more. Exhale. Inhale. Don't lose your feet. Keep strong in the feet. Exhale. Inhale. One more. Exhale. And then pressing into that front left heel. Think about dropping the hip as you reach the ribs away. Right arm comes down. And instead of letting my belly hang, I'm going to pull it in and fire up my glutes, stabilizing my back. Whew. Breathe, breathe. Two more breaths. See if you can go a little deeper. Inhale. Exhale, find your length. If it's there, don't hurt. Inhale, Virabhadrasana 2. Exhale, hands down on either side of the foot. Inhale, plank. Exhale, start your flow. Pause. On your inhale, this right leg prepares, and on your exhale, right leg is going to step in a low lunge, okay? And we're going to put that left knee down again and revisit a previous pose. Left toenails in the ground. I'm walking my right foot wide. I'm going to fist the floor, or if I want to, come onto my forearms. But to just kind of get a little movement in the hip, I'm going to come to the outside of my right foot. Okay, so I'm not very far, and I'm just going to hang out a little bit, just dumping a little bit into that hip. Pull the belly button in. Find the spine long. So if you're somebody who's down, I don't want to see, well, I won't, but I don't want you to have this rounding of the back. I want you to think long. Outside of my right foot. Let that right leg relax. Press the toenails of the left foot into the floor. Couple more breaths, please. One more good breath. Is there really a bad breath? Well, I suppose there is. That sounds funny. Inhale, tuck the left toe under, lift that leg. Exhale, step back to your down dog. Inhale, this left leg prepares. Exhale, your left leg steps in a low lunge, patting if you need to, right knee down, tops of the toes on the ground. So find that right foot toenail. Walk this left foot wide again, and then come to the outside of the left foot. And it's fascinating to see if you can see more of the bottom of your foot on this side versus the other. And then once you find that external rotation, then come on into either putting the forearms down and lengthening. And by lengthening, I don't mean lifting your head. I mean really pulling the sternum forward, okay? Or come onto the arms. Whatever works, whatever's safest. Press into the back toenails, lift the pubic bone and lengthen. And then see if you can let this left leg relax a wee bit. Breathing in and out through the nose. Give me 2 more breaths. One more if you got it. Inhale, tuck the back toe, lift the thigh, KK. Exhale, plank. Inhale, shift forward. Next, exhale, down dog or initiate that flow. We'll all meet in down dog. Excuse me. Nice. We're going to do one more thing before we shift a little bit. On an inhale, your right leg prepares. An exhale, you're going to step into your low lunge and then come up to warrior 2. You're going to see my backside for a little bit. So once again, knee, ankle, right? And I need to adjust because my heel and my arch weren't lined up. And I want you to think about drawing your hip back in space. You can literally, I'm going to try to keep this leg here. I'm going to draw the hip back, creating space. And then I'm going to feel as though I'm being pulled, and I'm going to lengthen my ribs away from my hip. Okay, rotate the ribs to the sky and reach. My palm is facing you all now. And then if I want to, I'm going to take these upper ribs and drop them. And then pull the hips back and then lengthen. Don't forget to press into that outside back foot. Okay? Only go where it feels good to you. Pull the ribs in. Rotate to the sky. Okay, now here's the caveat to really get into those adductors. Press into the heel of the front foot. Breathe and see what happens. Where are you going with it today? Two more breaths. Try to release this arm, letting yourself use your strength to hold you. Front heel, press. One more. Good, yummy breath. Inhale, come back to warrior 2. Exhale, hands down on either side of the foot. Down dog. Press into the hands, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, feel your heels drop. Inhale, your left leg prepares, and as you exhale, left leg steps in the low lunge. Root that back foot, Virabhadrasana 2 feet. Okay, not so concerned about the arms right now. Knee and ankle, right? Heel arch. I'm going to pull that hip back again. So it's as if I have a strap, and as I pull this back, my knee stays bent. Lengthen through the spine as you rotate the ribs towards the sky. Left forearm on the thigh, or just dropping down, right palm reaches. Pull the ribs in. Rotate. Really focus on pressing into the back foot and that front heel. Feel the core holding you. We'll play more with the core in a little bit. Breathe. Don't go anywhere yet. Take that hip back, lengthen the spine, dip a bit deeper into the lunge, and then reestablish your footing. 2 more breaths, please. One more good breath. Inhale, come back to Virabhadrasana 2. Exhale, hands down. Inhale, plank. Next, inhale, shift forward, or as you exhale, come into your down dog. All right, now for something completely different. From here, walk your feet in a wee bit, ground through the heels, and then walk your hands back to your feet, hands back to your feet. And I'm going to try to come to the center of my mat. And if you need to hold on to something, find those cans if you have them, or a brick, or bend your knees. But I want you to try to find the floor with a long spine core engaged. You guys are going to hate me. From here, lift and bend your right leg. And I'm going to imagine that I have a platter on the top of my foot. So I want to lift my leg up towards the sky, okay? And then I'm going to imagine I'm a dog and open my hip to this, open my hip, take my right knee to my right elbow, drop my foot down to my knee. So I'm trying to make a square or a circle. So find yourself strong, pelvis solid. Inhale, up, open, elbow, down. Now here's the caveat. Don't let that left hip move. Up, open, elbow, down. Up, open, oopsie, elbow, down. Up, boom, open, elbow, down. One more. Up, open, elbow, down, release. Woo, I don't know which one feels weirder, the left or the right. From here, let yourself hang for just a moment. Let the head drop. Feel the length. Now, again, hands lift the chest if you can. Use a support if you need to. Bend that left knee. Bend the right leg as much as needed. And then, using that platter analogy, lift, dog, open the core or the knee, elbow, back down to the knee. So I'm trying not to move my right hips. I don't know if I am or not, but do the best you can with what you got. Up, open, elbow, down. Up, open, elbow, down. Up, open, elbow, down. Keep that right foot strong. Lift up, open, elbow, down. One more. Pressing into the heel of the right foot, lifting the toes, keeping the mounds on the ground. Up, open, elbow, down, release. Woohoo! Forward fold. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, walk your hands back out. Walk your feet back. And then if you choose to either stay here or inhale to a plank and exhale, start your flow. You okay?
We'll tell me about the paintings on the X flag.
2 more breaths. Reach through those pinkies, press into the arms, ribs back. Exhale, heels down. All right, you ready? On an inhale, first I gotta scratch my nose. Whew. On an inhale, we're gonna do a variation on that theme. Your right leg prepares, and as you exhale, right leg steps in a low lunge. I'm gonna face you, and I think we did this 3 weeks ago. I think I saw Celeste playing with it. So I'm gonna come up onto my right foot, okay? And I'm gonna lengthen through my spine. And I've got my left leg back in space. So I want you to see what I'm gonna do with my left leg, all right? I'm gonna bend this right knee as much as I need, and I'm using my belly to hold me in. Right now, my hip is reaching or facing the ground, and then I'm gonna keep my right glute strong and drop my left hip so I can reach my right hip bone to my left, my left hip bone to my right knee. Then I'm gonna bring that left hip bone back to center, and then exhale, drop it down towards my knee, opposite knee, lift up, drop it, up, drop it, up, drop it, one more, back to center, and drop it. Wow, that right glute feels that. Inhale, exhale, come to your low lunge, and step into a down dog. Pause, shake out that right leg if you feel like you need it. Nice. On an inhale, bend that left leg. Exhale, left leg's going to step in that low lunge now. We're going to do that same hip drop. Okay, so here we are, low lunge. Walk your hands a little bit forward, doing the best you can, coming onto this left leg, long spine as best you can. And I'm looking back, and I can see my knee and this hip bone is facing down. So now it's as if I'm going to take this hip and drop it. But I'm trying really hard not to let the other bum get involved. So as I exhale, right hip to the left knee. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Not a big move, but it's a move. Exhale down. Inhale up. Down. Up. Down. Up. One more, two. Down. Up. Last one for me. Down. And up. Inhale, bend your left knee. Yep, right foot to the ground. Next, inhale, step to plank. Exhale, start the lower down dog. Pause. All right, so I think we're gonna try pigeon and then we may go into logs. I haven't decided yet. So pigeon pose, Ekapada Kapatanasana, you're gonna lift that right leg. Actually, don't lift the right leg. Bring the right knee towards your chest and come up on your left toe. So I'm really nicely rounded. And I'm gonna shift forward towards a plank as my right knee comes towards my right ankle. And then I reach that right knee comes towards my right wrist. Don't do something weird. And then my right ankle comes towards my left wrist. I lift up even higher, and then take myself down. And then I reach my left leg back. Okay, for me, I cannot come into parallel while the front of my shin is not in line with the front of my mat. For those who can do that, go for it. For those of us who find it painful in our knee, don't. From here, I want some support. I'm going to grab my little wedge. If you have pillows or anything, go for it. I'm lifting your chest. Inhale, pop through the chest. And then exhale, start to walk yourself forward. Once you get there, see if your sacrum or the flat of your back is even. It should not be dropping to one side or the other. And I should be able to put a nice cup of tea on here. And that's why a little support goes a long way. Inhale, lengthen the spine, pull the belly in, and then exhale, dip deeper only if it's in your, it's within your range of motion, your round. Breathe, hang out. Even sacrum, long spine. One more nice breath. So what I'm going to do to get out of this is I am going to move my break. Well, it's not a break, whatever. And then inhale, palms down, chest lifts, thigh up. And the exhale, down dog. On your next inhale, left leg comes towards the knee. I come up on my right toes, shift forward. My left knee is going towards my left ankle, my left wrist. Didn't want to do that again. Left ankle, right wrist. I lift a little higher because it feels good, and then I come down. Okay, and I'm going to walk this back. Now, once again, I want to balance out my pelvis, and I just happen to be really lucky to have that foam roller. If you're somebody who can take that chin parallel, go for it. Mine's never going to get there. Inhale, find the length. And I'm lifting up through my pubic bone. And exhale, walk yourself long. And then check yourself. Are you dropped? If you're dropped, that really puts a lot more stress on that knee. And we don't want to torque that. Our knees are really quite nice, and we'd like to keep them healthy, along with the rest of us. So find your support. Inhale, length. Exhale, drop to the best of your range. Not all the way to the max, like at 80%, maybe 75%. You know, I'm not looking for righteousness. I'm looking for a decent sensation that isn't going to ruin the rest of your day. In and out through the nose. One more breath, please. Inhale, palms to the floor, arms straighten as you lift your chest. Remove any support you've been using. Next, inhale, thigh to the sky. Exhale, plank. Should have been an inhale, so just inhale here. Exhale, shift, either down dog or flow. Meeting up in down dog. Reach through the fingers, press the arms. Feel the arms lengthen as the hips reach back. Heels drop as you exhale. I'm checking our time. Oh, we got this. On an inhale, bend both knees, prepare, exhale. You're gonna actually jump or step to a seated posture, the front of your mat. Okay? So here we are, pulling up the pants, sorry. I am going to move my right leg out of the way and take my left knee and see if I can create a nice angle so my knee lines up with my hip. And then I'm going to take my ankle, my right ankle is on top of my left knee, and this left foot is going to reach and try to find my ankle. So I'm stacking like fire logs. It looks like that or that. But because I'm not that flexible in my hips, and frankly they're angry half the time, if I could, I'm going to find some support. So I'm going to jerry-rig some support because I can. There. So now my ankle is stacked on my knee. My other ankle is below my other knee. Now, if this is yummy for you, you can always walk forward. If you're going to come forward by collapsing, you disconnect. If you're going to come forward by collapsing, you disconnect all the tissues that are needed to really get length and health out of this posture. So once you're here, right, stacked, we're going to take 4 breaths. Now they call us fire logs for a reason. I don't know if it's because it hurts or it's just the way it looks. I've got 2 breaths. One more. Whew. Walk your hands behind you. Lift or roll back on your bum. Remove any prop if you've got it and switch legs. So I'm still leaning back and I'm going to get my right knee and leg bent. Right? If you're using your mat, you can bring that shin to parallel to the mat. And now I'm going to different leg, different story, right? So now I'm going to take my right ankle on top of my left knee, and I'm going to think and hope that my left ankle is underneath, or my right ankle is underneath my left. And again, I'm going to create a little support. As you can tell, I'm just using whatever's around. Okay. Oh, found it. And then lengthen, again, through the spine. Press the tail or the sits bones down and pause. Remember, you can walk yourself forward, but ultimately, I'd like your spine to lengthen. Ears should be lined up with your shoulders as best they can. And start your fire. Here we go. 3 more breaths, please. One more breath. Awesome. Come back. Move that sucker. Straighten your legs out. And so this is Dandasana or staff. So you're going to, my toes are coming towards me and I'm lengthening through my spine, drawing my belly button in. And in all honesty, I always think that when I was a little girl, there was something called a carry doll, where you could pull her hair out when you pushed her belly button and she'd have this long hair. And then in order to shorten her hair, you'd have to rotate this knob and her hair would slowly go up in her head. She was fun. So I always think that right here's my carry doll knob. And as I come forward, I'm rotating. And I'm only moving from the hip hinge instead of from my chest, because that chest when I round it is going to really hurt my upper back. So just nice hinge. Find that crank of your carry dowel, of your old car window, whatever you want. I'm trying to bring my ears over my shoulders, and we're going to stay here for just a few breaths because we're almost out of time. Nice long carry dowel. Now, find your slumpage. Inhale, roll up, and you guys are going to have a little bit of homework to do on your own. Walk yourself back onto your back. My knees and your knees are going to be bent. Arms by your sides are out slightly, like with your palms up. And on an exhale, take your knees over to one side. And you're going to stay there for 5 breaths. And then over to the opposite side for 5 breaths. And then reach yourself out in a Shavasana. Stay there as long as you would like. I'm going to stop and get ready for our 10 o'clock where we work core. Thanks, guys.
The YouTube people are real ones and can see the artwork in the.
Did they like it?
Nobody said it. But I can tell.
Okay, do you want help with the YouTube-y stuff?
Say goodbye to YouTube.
Thank you, guys.